Hey guys, I'm Rayna, and yes, you've read the title correctly. Today is the day I finally film my Notion tour. Truthfully, I wanted to make this video much earlier, but I was holding on to the hope of Notion being the sponsor. And guys, dreams do come true, so I'd like to give a huge thank you to Notion for being the sponsor of today's video. I've been using Notion for a long while now, about 3 years at this point, so I'd like to say I'm well versed in Notionology. I've used Notion mostly for high school and college, but most recently I use it to help balance my life as a student, a creator, and everything in between. Literally everything. Guys, I have a page full of nothing but shows and another full of manhwas, but I digress. So in a few words, Notion is an easy-to-use platform that helps me keep my life organized all in one place. I have limitless customization and I can impulsively rearrange everything at 4 a.m. It's a fun time. But on a serious note, Notion is great for team collaborations, notes for school, planning out your month, and more. I genuinely love Notion and I use it for every aspect of my life. So without further ado, I present to you my life in a website, my Notion homepage. So when you open my Notion, you see my Ray of Sunshine homepage, which is just a play between the phrase Ray of Sunshine and my name. And then right underneath, I have a quote from Bishop Nathaniel that says, "I'm not always motivated, but I'm always disciplined," which I like to keep as a reminder to stay disciplined because motivation comes and goes, but a strong work ethic is forever. So yeah, I have that quote in multiple places in my Notion as a reminder. Now getting into the Notion pages, my Notion is pretty much split into two. The top section housing all the Notion pages, and the second section with just cute widgets and pictures to fill up space. So I have 5 pictures that correlate to the header and the pages that follow. I found all these off of Pinterest, and I've included a Notion pinboard for you guys if you'd like some of the same images I've used throughout my Notion. In this first page, I have my semester setup. This page was inspired by several Notion templates I saw on Pinterest, and I just took the bits that I liked and included it in this page to create this aesthetic setup. So starting with this farthest left column, I have this countdown widget that I found on indify.co. It's one of the many places I find my widgets, and I love it to bits. It's free and customizable, and really adds to the productivity and aesthetics of this page. Keeping the green theme, I just made it a deeper shade of green to stand out against the light setting. You can find exact hex codes using websites, but I kind of just messed around with it until I found a shade that I liked. Right under, I have a callout block that has my student ID number. It's not here just to make editing this footage a bit easier, but it's necessary because I'm always forgetting my student ID. Next are 2 external links to my school email and learning portal, and then I have a study playlist which features a bunch of lo-fi songs that are perfect for late night sessions. And then I have a quote that says, "Half of her beauty is her brain." And right underneath are my semester goals. I more or less have the same goals every semester, but I like to keep it here as a reminder, and I tend to add 1 or 2 extra goals as the year progresses. Then I have a picture of the Royal Greenhouse. I have no intention of going, I just thought the green added a nice touch to the overall vibe of this page. Going back up to the top of the second column, I have my spring courses listed. They all have pictures that correlate to the course. So for music appreciation, we have a blonde CD album. For art, we have painting supplies, and you get the point. And then I created a page that just has a set of affirmations for this semester. And right underneath this gallery of courses, I have the days of the week and to-do blocks underneath them. I don't have much listed because the semester hasn't started, but it's where I like to delegate different assignments so that I can complete them within the week. In the last column, I have another widget, a countdown widget made through Indify again for how many weeks are left in the winter break. And then under that, I have another study playlist. And then I have a quote or a reminder. I'm not sure what you'd call this, but I like it. And then I have what is possibly my favorite widget ever. It's a Pomodoro countdown timer by Cairo. I have it set to 2 hours, but you can change the color, time, and little character. It starts off sleeping, and then once you're ready to study, you click the widget and it wakes up. And yeah, it's cute. Lastly, and most importantly, is my At a Glance list, or most commonly referred to as a master to-do list. This is where I keep all the assignments that will be due throughout the semester, and as I complete them, I check them off this list. I've since changed it because I saw Kai Notebook use a formula that allows it to tell you how many days left you have to complete an assignment and when it's due. I thought it was pretty useful, so I modified mine to do the same. So going over the columns very briefly, we have the status, which is either not started, in progress, or submitted. Then we have the course code, the name of the assignment, what kind of task it is, how many days left until the deadline, and any notes that I need to write down. Now, these next 3 pages are kind of personal, but it's my grade tracker, clubs, and grad requirement pages. In my grade tracker page, it's just a table that tracks my grades for each term. In my clubs and extracurriculars page, it houses my resume, cover letter, UX design cases that I've done in the past, and scholarship information. In the grad requirements page, I have a list of all the courses I need to take to graduate, the courses I have completed, and the courses I'm currently taking. And I can just move them between sections, so these 4 I've already taken, and these 5 I will be taking in January. Now moving to my adulting section, which is a very necessary section, starting with the first page, my YouTube page. This page mirrors my YouTube channel with its cover and page picture being the same as my YouTube banner and profile picture, but this page was inspired by Munchie on YouTube. She didn't have a template, so I created it based on her layout. In this first section, I have a Get It Done column. It's just a big to-do list of things that need to be done. Right above it, I have my email linked for easy access, and then a call-out block that says check emails. And then underneath all of it, I have a cute gift that I found on Pinterest. Now under my dashboard, I have my YouTube schedule, video ideas, and sponsorship pages. Right underneath the dashboard section, I have my go-to links for fonts, any editing thumbnail inspiration I find on Pinterest, and a synced page to my 23 at a glance page. And then I have my YouTube schedule in calendar view for easy viewing. And to the right are a bunch of links to my social media and channel dashboard in YouTube Studio, and right underneath it is another playlist. Next is the finances page. Peak adulting right here. This page was a template from Red Gregory on YouTube. The original template comes with an instructional video, which was helpful, but the template itself is pretty easy to use. In customizing this page, I've added this money counting GIF. I really don't know if it's GIF or GIF. I'm a comp sci major, this is a disgrace. But anyway, I have this cute repeated image from Kiki's Delivery Service and Ben Franklin as the cover image. So on the left, I have my balances calculator. It has all my bank accounts and it just keeps track of money going in and out. And underneath that is a simple to-do list for all things money related. Now these next 2 columns might be my favorite parts of this page. One is my income table and the other is my expenses table. In the income table, I have the name, month, transaction date, the amount I was paid, and what type of income it was, fixed or extra. In the expenses table, I have the budget amount for the month, name, month, date, the amount I spent, type of expense, whether or not it was in the budget I set for myself, and any notes. Under the income table, I have a toggle for my savings plan. I want a car, so yeah, savings plan. This page was inspired by Munchie as well. It's just a general to-do list of everything that I need to get done this month. So we have 3 columns labeled to do, in progress, and done. Just like my grad requirements page, I can drag the tasks between the columns once it's completed. This page is where I keep my yearly goals and reflections. For the cover picture, I often use Unsplash because they have some really nice high quality pictures, and most times pictures from Pinterest are super blurry and it drives me crazy. So yeah, just use Unsplash. At the top, I have the same quote for my homepage as well as at the top of each goal page. So I have goals for just about every aspect of my life. I'm not going to get too in depth of these pages, but Notion is a great way for keeping track of your goals and little moments that happen throughout the year. And right underneath it is a playlist, which is a special playlist. It's full of songs that I've been obsessed with all throughout the year, and I tend to create new playlists every year and just fill it with songs that I have on repeat. So my goals are in the first column, my monthly reflections in the second, and my currently list in the third. This is just a list of books, music, and shows I'm currently into. So in this next section, languages and other, I have French, Korean, and library. So truthfully, these first 2 I don't really go into too much. I don't really go into at all. I wanted to learn a new language, but I just haven't been actively practicing. But this next one is a very special page. It has to be done in dark mode. But for this library, it is dark academia themed. I'm literally obsessed with this page. It's definitely my second favorite page, if not my first. But this cover is from Unsplash as well. You can just type in dark academia and it'll pull up some really nice choices. Definitely use Unsplash. The pictures are clear and they have a lot of good options. So scrolling down in this first row, we have a bunch of books that I am currently reading. We have The Murder Game, Brutal Prince, Ignite Me, Lookism, and Tommy. And right underneath it, I have widgets from Indify as well. And these are just counter widgets. So yeah, this is a great way to track how many chapters I've read of the book because I don't always use a bookmark. I should, but I don't always do it. So I like that I can keep track of how many chapters I've read for different types of books. This Notion page was inspired by 3 different templates that I found on Pinterest. If I find them, I will definitely put them in the description box, but I just took the pieces that I liked the most and combined it into this page. So for example, this book, Lookism, I am currently on chapter 100 158, I believe. So I would just keep clicking until I get to 158. Of course, you can always reset it to 0 or just click back up to the chapters that you are currently reading. So moving on to the second part of this page, we have books read this year. I know I've only read 6, but this was the year I was trying to get back into books, so not too much, please. And right underneath it, I have my 2022 reading goals. I have my K-drama OST playlist, which features a bunch of songs from different K-dramas that I've watched. I've just compiled it into one playlist. Moving on to the second column of the second section, I have my 2023 or 2022 TBR. And this third column is actually my favorite column in this whole page. So we have 3 Royal Core pictures across, and right underneath we have a gallery view. So I have these kind of in an ombre effect with the darkest and the lightest shade of brown. So starting from bookshelf, this table is filled with all the books that I currently have in my possession. Either I've read it, I have it, or I'm ready to read it. Going across, I have the name of the book, the author of the book, the status, whether it's unread, unfinished, finished, dropped, reread, ready to read, or reading. Then I have a rating of 1 to 5 stars. Have I bought it? Either I'm not buying it, I bought it, it's to be bought. Borrowed, meaning I borrowed it from the library or from a friend. Gifted, I need to sell it, or to be determined. And then we have whether or not it's a series, and if it's a series, I just have the other series titles. Moving on to the second page, bookstore. So these are the list of books that I would like to purchase, hence the title bookstore. But this is quite the list I have. It's 82 as of now, and there's still so many screenshots that I found off of TikTok that I have yet to put into this list. So it's basically the same names going across the table. Nothing really different other than the purpose for this page. And in this next page, we have comics, which just has a whole bunch of webtoons, manhwas, mangas that I am currently reading. We have the same names going across, but it's a little different. So we have type, the name of the book, the author, the status, which is basically the same as the other tables, the rating of 1 to 5 stars, is it my favorite book, the chapter / episode / review. If it comes out in print, I might buy it. And I just have that for a bunch of other books, such as Sweet Home, which is now a K-drama adaptation. And lastly, we have the Ghibli gallery, but it's basically just a page full of Studio Ghibli pictures. Going back to light mode and moving on to the personal section. So this section I don't really use all too much. The only 2 that I really use are these 2. This is also inspired by Munchie. I'm pretty sure this is the last page that I have that's inspired by her. We have 3 different columns with sections titled online, outdoors, creative, and organize. And then we have 3 different pictures. 2 of these are from Kiki's delivery service. And then we have a encouragement quote that says, "Talk a little nicer to yourself today." This cover gif I found off of Pinterest, and I'm pretty sure I linked it to my Notion pinboard. And in this wish list, I have just a bunch of things that I would like to get or have got. And this I send to my friends when they want to get me something. Instead of having to kind of like last minute guess what I want, I have accumulated this list over the year. So moving on to the 2 most used pages of this section. These 2 pages are inspired by Throne of Pages. I will also include her templates in the description box below. But starting with this first one, anime watch list. I have 4 sections. I think in her template she only had 3, but we have shonen, shoujo, films, and other. But I have a picture from Attack on Titan, Maid Sama, Howl's Moving Castle, and Death Parade. So in this page, I just have listed a bunch of animes that I would like to watch, animes I'm currently watching, animes I didn't finish, and animes I have watched. Now, I'm more of a shonen watcher than a shoujo watcher, but I do have a few shoujo movies and shows that I have watched. Moving on to films, we have the same theme going around with the picture or poster of the film, my rating for it, my review, and if I've watched it or if it's to be watched. And for the last section, other, it just houses the animes that I'm not sure where to put it. Anyways, moving on to the last page, we have dramas. Now brace yourselves. I watch a lot of K-dramas. Look, it keeps going. You thought I was done? No, it's still loading. Like, same theme as my anime, but I put a bit more time into this. And this page is my favorite because I think I'm pretty funny. This is a review, okay? whereas my anime one was like 1 to 2 sentences. No, this is a book review. This is a college entrance essay, okay? And if you've watched a few of these shows, you may notice the icons that I have. Wednesdays would be Thing. Sweet and Sour is a light bulb. My ID is Gangnam Beauty because she had headphones in her ears and she was dancing. This one because Joe thinks that with a hat he's invisible. But yeah, this page I've put so much effort into and it's definitely one of my favorite pages. And for this last section, I just have my shopping list, which I just like to include to keep track of different groceries and different things that I mean to buy. And for this last and final section, I started off with the scripture from Proverbs 31:26, and it's divided into 3 sections. So in this first section is a widget I got from widgetbox.app, and similarly to Indify, it's a way to just customize your Notion pages. The next picture is a 17 picture that I found off of course, Pinterest. And then this is the same currently list that I have in my 23 at a glance page. And then I have more pictures to just take up space, another countdown widget, and another playlist. And this table right here is the same table that I have in my spring semester setup. And I like it because when I first open my Notion, I'm able to see all the assignments that I need to get done and any assignments that I have due. And that's it, guys. If you watched to the end, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy this Notion tour, and don't forget to check out Notion in the description box. It's completely free, and I have also linked mine and other templates there as well. Once again, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.